fight. We don't have to kill. Everybody in the whole wide world really just needs to chill. No, we don't have to fuss, no, we don't have to fuss.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Just Chill with Oliver George. This is episode number 38, and I have a truly magical guest in store for you this week. Bit of a spoiler there. But before we get to that, as always, I want to remind you, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, and for whatever reason you would prefer an audio-only version of the episode, you can access that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. And contrary to that, if you're listening to me right now and you didn't realize there was a visual side to the show, please come check it out on YouTube. However you choose to enjoy the episode, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, follow, share, whatever the case may be on the respective platform that you're using. I'm trying to build this show from the ground up, so all the support that I can get really does mean a lot to me. And that being said, if you've already subscribed, thank you so much. Finally, if you want to reach me, you can hit me up at justchillpodcasting@gmail.com. Now, back to this week's guest. I had the awesome opportunity to sit down with magician extraordinaire Eric Leclerc, who is actually Ottawa-based, so he was supposed to be coming for an in-studio interview, but this great province of Ontario in which we live is currently under a strict lockdown until January 28th, so we had to resort to Zoom. Nevertheless, we had a great conversation. We talked about his YouTube channel, which currently boasts a whopping 133,000 subscribers. We talked about his appearance on Penn Teller's Fool Us, where he did, in fact, fool them with his amazing trick. And we also talked about his new upcoming show that's going to be on True TV with three magician friends of his called Big Trick Energy. I really, honestly cannot wait to see that after having this talk with him. So please come check it out and have a magic time with us. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, man. I've got a ton of questions. I'm hoping I can get through them all here. And on top of that, like, I'm super bummed that we couldn't be doing this in person, especially since you were supposed to be in Ottawa around, I don't know, are you back in Toronto now or?
I'm here. I live in Ottawa.
Oh, okay. I thought you lived in Toronto for some reason.
No, I'm in Orleans, baby.
Oh, nice. Oh, shit. I didn't even notice that. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, like with the stupid, the new lockdown that they rolled out, I just started thinking like every episode of mine starts with the date of recording. I don't want to like literally incriminate myself and get some fine or some shit. So.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I think right now it's supposed to be like only people from your household, no bubble or any of that shit.
You got your dad back there?
No, and when I do the Zoom stuff, I just do it solo.
You just do yourself.
Yeah, my dad's here when we do in-studio stuff just because there's, he's switching the cameras and watching the levels and all that.
So it's just you and me, baby.
Yeah, and I mean, at least we can still, I got to thank Zoom, at least we can still do something, But you'll have to come back sometime when all this crazy shit's over.
Yeah, man, I agree. I'd love to.
So some of your credentials, first of all, 2-time Canadian Magic champion. You've been on MTV, CTV, Fox, National Geographic, Comedy Network, if that still exists, I'm not sure. But before we get into, your YouTube channel and so many magic questions I have for you, I want to ask the basic, where did your magical journey begin?
I wish I had a better story. I've always stuck with it. I've never tried to mask it, to make it better. But I just got a magic kit under the Christmas tree when I was 9 years old. And I was lucky enough. These magic kits are like translated from German to French, back to English. It's crazy. The instructions are always just to make money. But the kit I got that year was a really good one. And it said, number one, you have to practice every trick for at least 25 minutes in front of the mirror before you show anybody. This is number one. So I actually did it. And then I went to show my mom and her jaw dropped. And she was like, how did you do that? And that was the first time my mom asked me a question she didn't have the answer to.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, am I smarter than my parents? And I just got hooked. I just got hooked from then on, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you remained vigilant, like just kept doing it every day?
Yeah, just kept doing it every day. I loved the attention it got. Didn't have many friends. Then I went to school and I showed them this trick and suddenly, guys, come see this. He said, are you a magician? And like, I just started creating this kind of myth around me since I got someone knocking at the door. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
Hello. Hi, the book is on the other side.
Drink my kombucha.
Oh, you came for the tools. Okay, great. I'm giving stuff away, Oliver.
No worries.
I'm giving stuff away.
I'm leaving this all in.
I put this on Facebook Marketplace and I said various murder weapons to give away. So there you go.
That's amazing.
There we go. All right. Okay, sorry about that. That's beauty of Zoom, baby.
Yeah, no worries. I was going to say, it seems like, yeah, definitely you would get pretty popular having that kind of a magical repertoire at your disposal.
Yeah, because everybody kind of does little magic tricks, but when, it's usually like they're in a magic kit at home. So you either show it to your friends, family, here and there. But I was bringing my stuff. I was bringing my stuff to school, like actively looking out to get better to perform, because you can't perform magic with no audience, right?
Much like comedy.
You want, but the different reactions that you get and the different interactions are key in becoming a magician. I created a myth, and then I never looked back, man. And then in high school, though, I stopped doing it because it was like, people think it's like not corny, but I just thought it was, I was doing birthday parties in a bright purple suit on the weekends, still making more money than all my friends. But I just think, is magic corny? I want to be cool. So in high school, I didn't whip it out till 11th grade. And then when I did, everything changed. Yeah,
it's weird that I've noticed that before too, that at certain points magic gets like a nerdy sort of stigma about it, which whenever I've seen magic in person, I always am astounded. And I think it's super cool. I'm really jealous and wish I had those skills. So I never really got that nerdy connotation there.
Well, my goal in my whole life, every time I walked away from a crowd or a group of people or even one person, was to leave them thinking that it's not corny. That was awesome. And when you just said every time I see magic, that means a lot, because most people will die or live a life without seeing magic right in front, sure, on TV or on stage, but in front of them, hold this, take this, think of this. And like, it's amazing. It marks somebody. So it was like nerdy stigma.
As we both had a common friend who was kind of my introduction to very, very, ample amounts of magic face to face. Scott Strange. I have no idea where he is now. The guy's an enigma.
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, last time I saw him, I want to say was, 6-7 years ago, something like that. I randomly ran into him downtown, and he was just back visiting for whatever reason. And he was like, I don't do magic anymore. I play banjo now. And I opened a tattoo shop, and I got married, and then I got divorced, and like all this shit. His
goal was to live around the world for free. And that's what he's doing. He lived right before he left on his big journey. He lived at my house for 3 months. We brainstormed a new show. And I remember him just giving me all this stuff. I still have it in a box downstairs. And here and there, it just pops back around Christmas time and whatnot. But he just wanted to be a drifter, start a new life, a minimalist. And he's writing a book on how to live for free. So
he is still alive. You can confirm that?
He just commented on one of my posts. He has a phone he calls Hobo Magic, because nobody that he hangs around with have a phone. So he just commented on a Facebook post, ridiculing me. So,
well, man, tell him to hit me up, because I tried that number you had given me, and I would kill to talk to that guy. I'd love to interview him too. He's such a crazy character.
Yeah, he's a character, man. I'll pass it on.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually definitely how I heard about you back in the day. And a good segue into your YouTube channel was when you were doing the 365 project, doing one trick every day for a whole year. And so tell me a bit about that. How did that go?
Yeah. That was me trying to, stay current, and everything was on YouTube now. Everybody had it was still brand new. It was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I decided to do a trick every single day, January 1st to December 31st, not knowing what I was getting myself into. I had a huge magic room in my house, and I went through it. I'm like, I have 365 tricks here. And then I started mapping it out. And man, by day 45, I had enough. I had it up to here, but I kept going, never pre-recorded a video, never missed a day. You have to do it every day. Like, I went to my friend's wedding in Dominican. Well, guess what? Like, every day I had to look for content and then sit in the lobby in the crappy Wi-Fi for like 3 hours waiting it to send to the editor. It was crazy, but it did give me a lot. It did give me, I went to India. It got me on National Geographic's Brain Games. That's a huge show on Netflix.
Right on.
So, putting yourself out there. I did it from my basement. And when it was my second year of owning my house. And I was like, I could do what I want, set up a studio. But it was quite the undertaking. It was, but I don't regret it. I really don't.
Oh, it's a great idea. And it sounds like you executed it well. But you took a pretty big break from YouTube and then just kind of got back into it in the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, buddy.
And now you're currently at like 133,000 subscribers. So that's mind-blowing.
The Penn Teller appearance. I took a break because I had enough. I was like, it's your whole life for a year. I remember on December 31st on New Year's, I didn't do anything. I stayed on my couch. I was like, I don't need to think about filming a video tomorrow, and I just stay there alone in the dark room and just happy. And then, so I had enough. So I didn't post anything for a couple of years. In fact, I stopped at day 364, didn't post anything for a full year. And then the next year on December 31st is when I posted my Magic of India, where I went travel to India. So I did a banger on the last one. But then after that, a few years, I wanted nothing to do with it. And then slowly, it's still, putting promotional videos on there and funny girlfriend pranks and stuff. And now with this pandemic thing, my friends are really into YouTube. My three best friends in Magic, Chris Ramsay, Wes Barker, and Alex Boyer, are huge into YouTube. And then when the pandemic hit, I was like, I have no choice. This is like the universe telling me, you're stuck at home. You got to put something out there. As a magician, everything stopped, right? Our industry is the last one that's going to normalize, like in theater shows and people, like it's crazy. So I started a little bit and then went on Penn Teller, and that was huge. And I had the idea of, I'm going to reveal a trick. It's a trick I invented just for them. And I said, I'm going to reveal it the next week. And I did. And those two things combined, just YouTube's algorithm pushed it up and got like 60,000 subscribers in like a month or so. Finally got the plaque hanging on the wall. Can you see it?
Yeah, I saw you posting about that. That's awesome.
There's that puppy right there.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a game changer. It was, but now just like, kind of coasting, just like putting here and there, just try to keep it current, not making money like my friends or like I used to with YouTube, but it's enjoyable. You're putting your art out there, put the art out there.
Yeah, I definitely want to ask you about the Penn and Teller thing, but I was going to ask, while we're on YouTube, was there any other sort of tricks or methods that you learned to apply? God, what word am I looking for? That you started using to boost or get more views. I mean, I'm asking for a friend here, wink, wink, but
no, I tried. Hey, I was at 83,000 subscribers.
Oh, so you already had a lot.
But like that was, so when I was actually doing the Leclerc show, I maybe had like 10,000 or 20, maybe 20,000, I think. And then over the years, it just kept, I have a video that has like almost 3 million views. It's like 40 magic tricks in 4 minutes. I saw that one. Popular one ever. And I think that one with the kind of, you get people following. I don't know, man. I know what the formula is just putting out. I have no idea. It's such a mystery. And now there's more YouTubers than ever, but they're making serious money. Like,
oh yeah. Like Mr. Beast. Oh, good Lord.
Oh my goodness. It's ridiculous. I watch all this stuff. You can't not watch it. The first 30 seconds you're hooked. He gets right to the point, gets into it. Let's go. Yeah,
he's got some pretty crazy setups for the things they're trying to accomplish. I mean, it's easy when you've got that much cash too.
Yeah, but he did it. He posted a video recently of him. I think it was like 4 years ago when he was young. And
I saw this. Yeah.
Like he's like, if I make it big or whatnot, and he's just like, it's there in his parents. I'm sure his parents' house, and now just kept at it. And his consistency is key.
Yeah.
It really is.
The one thing I've noticed that I can't stand in a lot of popular videos is this constant editing. Like they can't just do one fucking take. It's like, every sentence, basically you see a cut. Yeah. And I'm wondering, are they actually doing this on purpose? Is the style?
Yeah.
What is that supposed to showcase, that you can't like do a whole take without fucking up? I don't know.
It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. And basically what it is taking out the silence. And right now our brains are, more than ever fucking just wanting like constant stimulation. So these cuts change. It makes the video flow better. I'm a television host, so I tend to like do a full, but even when I'm editing, I'm like, nah, this is way better.
Some of them are just too ADD for me though. Like when I watch those videos, especially when they're like, yo, what's up YouTube? And they're fucking yelling at the camera and yeah.
But you know what? The best talk I've had in 2019 was with an LA magician. He was a little bit older, he was 45 years old, and I was the oldest one in the room besides him, full magicians. And we're talking about, in your art, in your passion, if you don't accept the new trends, if you aren't open to accept how it's done nowadays, and if we keep saying, I should do that in one take. As a host, I can talk, I can blah, blah, blah. And we, like, as magicians, the perfect example. Nowadays, it's all like these tricks where you're performing directly to the camera. And if you were like this, you'd see how it was done. Back in my days, like, you can do this surrounded, you can do this, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. So if we don't evolve with the art, it just makes us sound bitter and old. So it's been a year now that every time I see the new stuff, even though I hate it, like those 3-minute Facebook videos where when you're watching the video and nothing happens till the very last 20 seconds. But you need those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They annoy me. I'm like, hey, these people I got friends that are one of my friends made $1 million on Facebook last month.
Good Lord. That's insane. Second
most viewed page in the world on Facebook. So
what is it?
Julius Dean, he's a magician. You've seen him. He's in Mexico right now. He does like these pranks where hot girls sleeping in bikini. Obviously, they're painting stuff. They obviously know it's all fake. It's all fake. But as a magician, I'm like, I live my life on guaranteeing that my audiences are giving real reactions. And because if it's like you're doing especially magic, they think, oh, they were in on it. If it's not in front of you, if it's not you that are experiencing it, they were in on it. They were in on it. So for me, being like, oh, these are people are all actors, doesn't matter anymore. That's what people want. And as much as we're like, oh, I hate those videos, getting like 70 million clicks, there's a reason.
Yeah.
So adapting with those, and I'm trying really hard in the last year and a half to just be like, accept, because I don't want to be that stagnant person that just kind of like, well, in my day, right? So
I understand the point you're making, but I mean, I think some stuff does come full circle sometimes too. Like sticking to your guns can be the right call in some situations. It may take longer to pay off, but what's old is new again eventually and stuff like that. So, I hear what you're saying. You got to be flexible. You can't just be this rigid sort of mindset.
It's like you're a comedian. I saw one of your clips last night. In the comedian world, it's more serious than any other world, like stealing someone's joke or having your own material. It's like, yo, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
Now these people are coming out like, let's say TikTokers or whatever. They're just reciting Dane Cook's whatever, whatever. And it's okay. It's okay because they're doing it on their phone in there. So there's not, the world of people that like this and, oh, this is funny. They don't care who it's from. They don't care who. So there's like an ethics line and a moral.
I was going to say, like, part of me wants to fight against that because I remember getting really pissed off probably when I was first getting into comedy and I was just, being a little bit too over the top. But some guy I knew kept posting stuff that was clearly from someone else's Twitter, like a comedian or something. And he would always like crop out their name. And I assume an attempt to make his friends think that he had come up with it, So I kind of called him and I said like, hey man, at least give credit where credit's due because that's not your joke really. But like you're saying, people don't give a shit about that. Wait, unfortunately.
Crop it up and put his name?
No, he wouldn't put his name. But I think that when you're putting it on your Facebook and people just see that, they might think that's your status. You put it in.
Oh, right. As a status, right. He wasn't sharing it. He was rewriting it.
No, yeah, exactly. He was just taking it and reposting. And I thought, man, that's kind of a shady move, Yeah. But you're right. People don't really care. But I don't know if that's something that we should accept or something we should fight against because, I mean, there's nothing more frustrating than not getting credit for something that you created or somebody else getting credit is even worse,
I'm living something really, really kind of weird right now. We're about to leave and I'm 4 days. I'm leaving for Vancouver to film this new show we sold for True TV. And it's with those 3 magicians I mentioned. So we're 4 magicians. And now more than ever, like the rock band, like the stereotype, like the rock band breaking up because of the lead singer gets all the credit and blah, blah, blah. I've never had to, this is going to be my 7th show that I've starred in. And it's the first time that I have an ensemble cast. And now more than ever, it's so important to be like, I pitched that in the meeting. He's doing it as his own trick. He might even say he came up with it. Doesn't matter. Shut up. Make it work. These are your friends. It's all
your collaborators.
Yeah, it's collaborative, but it's very hard. It's very hard. So it's one of the hardest things not to be like, hey, that was my idea. That was for what? For people to be like, okay, cool. Good idea, bro. We're doing it this way, So it's very hard to like, but especially like I said, in the comedian world, like that's all you guys have is what comes out of your mouth, right?
Yeah. But you get that too with comics. Sometimes we'll form like a sketch comedy group, like, and make little shorts. I did that with a couple of friends and there's a bit of that. You kind of want the credit where it's due, but in the end, it's just going to detract from being a cohesive unit as a whole, all of you guys working together.
Yeah. You're like, that was my line. That was my line. As if you stole my line. It's such a trivial thing, right? It's such a thing, but in whatever world you're in, that means a lot, right?
Yeah, in the moment, especially once you get some distance from it and you look, you're like, okay, why did I go? Yeah.
It's in the moment. You're so right. Afterwards, it's like, I stole my idea, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when somebody repeats, you say a joke at a party or to your buddy, and he repeats it louder for everybody, and he gets the, that's the easiest one to be like,
motherfucker, yeah. I just said that. Yeah. What's the show called? Is that the Big Trick Energy?
It's called Big Trick Energy.
Such a good name.
Yeah, it's a great name. But you know what? As much as a good name it is, I am convinced 50% of people that hear it don't get it. Sure,
really?
It's got some buzz. Wow, the Big Dick Energy is such a niche. Like no 40-some-year-old man or woman. You know what I mean? Like if you're not a meme teacher, if you're not in, even BDE, that's abbreviated. But it still has enough buzzwords like big, trick, energy. It's like, okay, I get it. 4 guys. Okay, cool. I get it.
Yeah, it's still catchy.
The first time we pitched it to True, they were like, no, they want it to be like Magic Impossible, or like they had another, and then we were like, ugh. And then somebody said Big Dick Energy. I think it was our director, and we were like, whoa. And they said no. They were like, that's not, we don't. And then we were like, what? Like this is perfect for us. Perfect for like white guys. Like there's going to be like every show we do cold open, we're like, it's directed by a director with explosions and we're getting beat up.
Yeah, a bunch of bravado.
Exactly. So, and then we pitched it again in a second meeting, and then there was a younger executive there, and she was like, oh, "That's the best name I ever heard." And the other guys were like, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's good, right?" Like so it's called Big Trick Energy. Basically, it's a mix of Jackass meets the Impractical Jokers with a spin of magic.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, they're really letting us do whatever we want. Very excited. We're pranking each other. So Chris, Wes, Alex, and I have always been in prank wars. It started when I bought this house and I was filming another show in LA, and they broke in my house and they painted right on this wall here. They painted themselves naked. Like they hired a professional graffiti artist, painted themselves naked on a unicorn, and it was intense. It was huge. So when I come home, and then we got a billboard for Wes in Vegas of him like half naked. We moved Alex out of his parents' house without telling him. We're in like pretty intense prank wars. So now we're keeping this prank wars theme and bringing it to the screen. So, and they're big pranks. Like there's some stuff there that's like, man, they're deep. Like they're deep rooted. It's not just like hitting with water balloons. It's like
psychological a little bit.
Yeah, I can't really say it, but yeah.
I can't wait to see this, man.
It's going to be so. And you know what? Like I said earlier, I've done a lot of TV, and usually it's like, Brain Games was for like the like the smart people who like puzzles. Tricked was for family. Math Explosion, Science Explosion were for kid shows where I'm like, la, kids game shows. And I've never told my friends, yo, you got to watch this. But this is the show we want to do for real from beginning to end. Like they're letting us do whatever we want. So, and a huge budget too, huge budget for Tricks, which makes the magic show. So I'm super pumped.
Really? Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really happy for you, man. When can people expect to see that?
Thanks. Yeah. No, especially in this time. Like, I don't even know how we're going to film this thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a little awkward. When can people expect to see that, though?
They told us not to talk about it, but there's talk about around March Madness. True TV's March Madness, and they want to kind of
nice.
Maybe I'd say maybe in the spring sometime. I don't know.
Cool.
But yeah, it's going to be soon. It's coming.
Nice. Yeah, that's much sooner than I would have expected if you guys were just going to film it now.
I think we're still going to be filming while it's airing. So 10 episodes, and it's going to be an undertaking, but I'm excited. And plus, it's the first time in my life where I'm splitting the workload with 3 guys.
That's nice.
Usually I'm like, you have to do 350 tricks this season. I'm like, okay, I'm stressed now. It's like, oh, you got to do like 50. And we're like, beautiful. So we're going there. And while the other guy's performing, we're drinking and razzing him and, throwing stuff at him. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's nice that these are your buddies and they didn't just stick you with 3 other like contest winners or some shit.
Not have done it. And you know what? That's one of the biggest things that the networks, when we pitched the show to all the networks, they said, your camaraderie is real. You guys know, everybody has their place. Alex is the punching bag, the young guy who thinks he's a model, but he looks like a 70s.
He looks like John LaJoie. That's what I was noticing.
Yeah, he's so funny. So he's the young one of the group, and so he's our punching bag. And then we got Chris, the leader of the group, and we got me. I'm the old guy, and I'm the old guy.
How old are you?
I'm 39. I just turned 39.
Okay, yeah, you're like 4 years older than me.
Thanks. So you're 35?
I just turned 35 in December. Yeah.
December 17th.
I'm December 6th.
No, you're December 6th?
Yeah.
I'm November 11th. I was trying to guess.
Oh.
Trying to do magic.
Okay. I thought you were saying your birthday.
So it's going to be, and the camaraderie is what people really bought. I'm pretty sure that's what they bought when we sold the show, because you can't fake. You can put 4 magicians together, but you can't fake the camaraderie, the stuff we know about. We know each other's moms' names. We know our ticks. We know what makes us.
Yeah, it makes it so much better.
It's going to be really good. Look out for it. Come in the spring 2021. Big Trick Energy, baby.
Yeah, I don't have True TV, but I'll have to find a way to get it.
Well, HBO Max is a streaming partner, but it's going to be
cool.
They got an online team that's going to put stuff out there. It's going to be great.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I was asking your age partially because when you started saying pranks and coming from Ottawa, I just assumed you must have been a big Tom Green fan like myself.
Yeah, buddy. I saw him. I remember I've never been, you know what? Much like what the statement I just said that I've never told my friends, yo, you got to watch this show. When Tom Green started, I was like on Friday nights, I think it was like, yo, we're watching this. And nobody, like we're like 18, 20-year-old guys. So nobody like had a TV show they were watching. We play like PlayStation, but we turned off and watched Tom Green do his crazy. And I was like, he started reality TV, man.
Pretty much, yeah.
Doing crazy stuff with the cameras and walking in subway and getting birds and humping mooses. And it was crazy that Rogers let that on the air. There's a lot of stuff there that's like.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that he was pre-Jackass. He was picking on his parents way before Bam was,
The prank, remember his prank where he airbrushed a naked woman on his dad's car?
Slutmobile, yeah. Probably one of the most famous.
Baby. And he picked him up, and then the dad comes out for work. He goes to the bus stop, and he drives to the bus stop in front of everybody. His poor dad, man. They put up with a lot.
Yeah, well, he painted their house plaid too, and he filled their house with like farm animals one time. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to unplug my noisy ass fridge.
Okay.
Goes through phases, and every once in a while I start hearing this humming and drives me nuts. I don't know if it picks up on the mic, but just to be safe.
I got a message from the from the lady who just picked up the.
Oh,
not too sure where to pick up the murder weapons.
Wouldn't you feel terrible if, like, the news a couple days from now she actually killed someone with those?
God, with my prints are on it.
You're an accomplice, yeah.
Oh my God, there's a great gag that I used to do. It's not my gag. It's Stephen Bargette. You know Nate Bargatze?
Yeah. His
father is a magician.
Oh, really?
And he's so funny. And he's very, very funny. And he has a gag where he's like, okay, I'm going to show you guys something. And he takes out a kitchen knife and he's like wiping it. He's like, I'm going to show you guys something. Sir, please examine this knife. And he gives him the knife with like holding the cloth. So the audience member examines, make sure it doesn't come apart. Perfect. And then he takes back with the cloth. He puts it in a Ziploc and he says, there's a little mishap in my apartment last night. Extenuating the guy's prints. The spectator's prints are now all over.
Yeah.
Right? It was so good.
That's really smart.
Yeah, he's a great comic. I love Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Love him. So smooth.
Actually, you just mentioned something that I had planned to ask you, which is, why do you think that there's such an intrinsic connection between magic and comedy? Apart from a few people like Chris Angel who try to be all serious and shit. But I think, it's one of the factors that's almost always there when you watch a magician.
Because magic's funny. One of the reactions you get as a magician when you do a trick, a lot of times is laughter. And that feels good. So, man, I don't know. And I've asked myself, a lot of people build themselves as comedy magician. I've never had that in my head or in my promo, because I want it to be a surprise. I get like 3 or 4 laughs a minute in my set, which is pretty good.
Yeah, you're very funny.
But it just feels good for me. I've always it's a lot of times, if the magic isn't good, people hide behind the comedy. But if the comedy isn't good, people use the magic, because a lot of the magicians use the same hack lines. I'm guilty of using, because I've watched all these magicians my whole life. And magicians like recycle these crazy lines, like, oh, put your hand out. Oh no, the clean one, right? A line like that, or a line like, can you make my wife disappear? Stuff like that people always say. I don't know why there's such every
I would assume like that the comedy must help with just distracting people, right?
Yes, if you're good at it, if you know your delivery is going to be good and your joke is going to cover, is going to get people laughing and then relax. It's all about tension and releasing for magicians. Because if I'm like watch, and I do something and then I go like this, you think it's over, but really I'm doing this stuff while it's over. So when people laugh, they relax and look away and just kind of. And plus, when you make somebody laugh, there's a very fine line in being a magician between coming off as an asshole and a likable person, because you're showing smart people, intelligent adults that know about life, that know how the world works, stuff that they can't explain. And if you have an ounce of like, or like kind of like if your eyebrow goes up the wrong way, smugness or whatever, it comes off as people are not going to like it. So being funny and self-deprecating helps sell the magic, and it helps you make you a better, likable person. But I've always used it. I never say it petrified. I've done stand-up comedy once, even though I've went on open mics with like stuff in my pockets, but no props. In Australia, my friend Wes is a stand-up comedian, and he's like, "You should try it, man. You should just try it." And I was like, and I said, okay. And I went, and it did pretty well. But it was for me, it's just so like when someone's like, all right, make me laugh. They're like, oh, he's a comedian? Okay. Right? Yeah. You're judging him and you're expecting what he's going to say is going to tickle your funny bone. But with the magic, you can like gross people out, make them laugh, make them amazed, show them mind-blowing things, reveal stuff. So there's a lot of, I don't know, man, that's a really great, nobody's ever asked me that. And I should have an answer to it.
But nonetheless, I was going to say you must still have those people in magic, the arms crossed people who are like trying to figure it out, and they're super skeptic and staring at you every movement you make.
This is a perfect thing to say after what I just said is the thing on magic forums that comes up the most with new magicians is like, how do you stop hecklers? I think hecklers, often in the comic world too, is a term that we use too frequently. Yeah. Someone yelling stuff out to you, like, so did you guys have a good Christmas? Yeah, good Christmas. How about you? That's not heckling.
No, not at all.
That's not. If somebody said after a while, if you give him one of your heckler stopplers, if he's like, if he says that's not funny, okay, well, fuck it, it's on now. Yeah. But I find the term heckler gets used a lot in the forums. People are like, how do you stop people from figuring out that? And I'm like, you just got to be likable. Most magicians will hide behind the fact that they practice 40 hours in front of their mirror making that coin disappear, and they know it's going to amaze them. And if you come up with an ounce of arrogance, people are going to be like, oh, well, obviously it's not going to disappear. Obviously it didn't really disappear. But if you say, if I take a little bit of magic dust here, a little bit of magic dust here, whoa, the coin disappears. Right now they're thinking about they're like, oh man, that's funny. They don't care where the coin disappeared because you're using comedy to just be normal. Some magicians are like asking people to blow on things and do you believe in this?
All the mysticism. Yeah.
Like get out of here. Everybody knows magic's not real. And the people who the people who show up in leather and for a whole show, they don't say, even if they say something funny, they say, the mind is in a place where blah, blah, blah. And and you're like, there's no way.
They never smile. Yeah.
There's no way. So the heckler, there's a lot of people, how I deal with it is I'm good at it. So when I do something and then somebody's like, no, I saw you. First of all, I know if somebody catches me, I have a great thing to tell you after. If somebody catches me and they're polite enough not to say anything in a circle, I'll finish it. I know they caught me, and then I'll work on them to make sure I amaze them. If they say something, I saw you. I'm like, yeah, I know you saw that one, bro. Watch this though. And I'll continue. And it's like, you didn't see that one, did you? And then gauge him. And then if he's like, that's not really that, then I start, hey, do you get out a lot? Do you guys take him everywhere with you? This guy, it's like, it's not real. I'm not a wizard. I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like, oh, you're ruining the magic. It's just be a normal person and be like, wow, who hurt you in high school, bro?
Yeah.
Who's right? Just that it's going to deflate. I've had people, it's mostly guys with the girlfriends, right? When you're hired to do restaurant magic at a restaurant, you walk up, you have to touch every table. You walk up and they're not that they're talking. I wait as a professional. You wait till they're done. But when you go, you have to hit them. There's a lot of testosterone there. Like the guys are like, all right, and I always ignore the girl, always perform for the guy. But when they're really, I just say, okay, cool, have a good night. And when it's a big table and there's one guy, blah, 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 I'm like, okay, guys, have a good night. And I leave. And now everybody with him is like, they're mad at him.
Yeah.
Yes.
That happens at comedy clubs too. When people bring someone who gets too drunk and then everyone's like, I've heard people turn on their friend like, shut up, Sam. You're ruining it, you know? And it's so satisfying.
It is so satisfying. Yeah. A bunch of stuff like that. Yeah, it's so funny.
Man, well, getting back to the Penn and Tellers thing, because we got to talk about that.
I didn't know you were going to ask about that. Well, about a few years ago, I got...
Yeah, for the audio only listeners, he's holding up his award because he did, in fact, fool Penn and Teller. He was on season 7 of Penn and Teller's Fool Us. And right. It's a show where magicians go and try and show a trick that they've hopefully never seen and hopefully can't deduce the mechanisms behind it. And you did this great trick with a huge box and a bunch of packing peanuts. Yeah. And so I just wanted you to sort of share what that experience was like for you, because I did notice when you performed, you were so confident and calm, but the second you were talking directly to them, I could feel how much you respected them and what a big moment that was for you to be having that.
I'll give you the inside because something happened. There's a reason why I was nervous like that. So Fool Us have asked me to perform for them for the past 4 or 5 years. When it started, they stopped a few years, but they've always like, hey, you should come on the show. And like I said before, fooling people is not what being a magician is, it's entertaining them. Yeah. And the term fool us and did you fool us? And I'm going there to fool them. And plus my cred was already made in the industry. I had multiple television shows. I was doing well. I was doing tours in schools, corporate events, TV. I wouldn't want to risk the risk of going and not fooling them. Mm. Because people are like, the first thing, did you fool them? And you're like, nah, it just brings you down.
It's true. It's a detractor. Yeah.
I had no reason to go. And then a few years, and then I asked the executive producer, who was one of my friends, the magic producer. I'm like, why would I go there? He's like, Eric, the press it's going to give you. And I was like, yeah, press, fine. Then I asked one of my magician friends, he's like, I toured all over Asia because of that clip and I didn't even fool them. And I was like, whoa. Wow. So then I got to work. I got concepts. I knew I wanted to be big. I want to know card tricks, forget card tricks. Worked on it for 6 months with my magician friends, had jams, brainstorms, different things you could say, different things I could do to like little red herrings to get him off the scent, off the trail. And then I practiced. I've never been, the 3 questions I get the most as a magician is, how long have you been doing it? Where did you learn? And can you make my wife disappear? But the 4th one is, do you ever get nervous? And the answer for me, if it's not live television, I don't. I get excited and I get that rush when I walk on stage, but I'm nervous. I know it's going to go well. But for this, I was really nervous. 6 months of like laying in bed and going over our speech, because at the end, it comes down to it's an interaction. If he's like, oh, but we know you used that, we probably did this. And if I'm like, if I have the courage to be like, nope, and they tell you, don't argue with them. But if you say like, no, that's not it, instead of like, you know what? That's a good guess, but unfortunately, that's not how he did it, right? Those 2 things, huge difference. Being like, no, that's not how it's done. Compared to like, well, that's a good guess, but actually, wow, probably should have done it that way. That's not how he did it, though. You don't want to alienate them. So anyways, went on, and I revealed the trick afterwards on my YouTube. So I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, it was great to be able to see that.
Did you see it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I wanted to know how you did it.
So the sheet, so basically it was a box filled, for the people listening, it was a box filled with packing peanuts, like 5 feet by 5 feet filled. But really, and it opened on both ends, but really the secret was there was a sheet I printed with packing peanuts printed all over it, and I stapled it halfway through the box. So if you turn the box on one end, it's just the sheet laying there. But if you turn on the other end, it's a bunch of packing peanuts laying on top of the sheet. So then they pick a peanut, they sign the packing peanut. As we mix the box, I turn it on the sheet side. So when I drop it in, it just lays on the sheet. It just lays there so I can grab it later at a moment's notice. So that day I was so nervous because there was a 10% chance. The trick was, it was designed in a way if the guy shook the box too much, that cloth was coming off and that peanut was going to mix with all the others and I'm done. And we did no reshoot. So there was a 10% chance it wasn't going to work. That's why I was super nervous. Finally, I see it works. I get so excited that I forget. And then I jump in the box, and how I get rid of the cloth is I tuck it in my pants. I just right in my pants. So that as magicians, we call it clean. We end clean. So I'm in the box. I have it in my mouth. Everything's perfect. I shove it in. Boom, pop out, drama, not in my hand, not in the other hand, it's in the mouth, huge applause. And then a convincer I do is I tilt forward so the box tilts and everything sprays everything drops on the floor so they can see through the box so they know it's not gimmicks, right? That was
and you see all the packing peanuts all over the place.
Peanuts and the bottom of the box because it's huge. So then as my girlfriend, my friends were in the audience, I had like 10 people come down to cheer me on and they were filming from their phones. And when I tilt forward, I get up, I start cheering. And then I don't know why I did this, but I was so excited that it worked. I had a bunch of, like a sea of packing peanuts on the ground. I jumped on them and I pretended I was swimming. But this thing was sticking out about 3 feet from my pants. I couldn't feel it.
Shit.
So this thing was half in my pants and half. So I had a huge tail. And then you hear them, oh, fuck, and then turn off their phones. And then I stand up and I'm like, yeah. And as I go, yeah, I feel the cloth in the back hit me. And I see them go, what? And then I go like this. I just tuck it in from the back. And now my interview with Allison, my deliberation with Penn and Teller, I was fuming. 6 months of work down the drain. I was like this. I was like, yeah. You can see me. I was looking at the thing going.
Yeah, you thought you were caught red-handed.
I thought I was caught. I thought I was done. And then fortunately, they didn't put 2 and 2 together. They didn't see it. It was an honest fool. I talked to the magic consultant. He's like, they didn't see anything, but I did see them go, oh, what is that? And maybe they thought it was my coattail, my shirt tail. I don't know. But I was experiencing. If you look at the clip, one of the comments I get the most in that clip is when I fool them, I like got so emotional. 6 months of work, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so happy. Definitely a highlight in my career. And I'm glad I did it because after a while of being on autopilot with your career, everything's going well. You're doing this, you're doing this. I'm like, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this challenge, this new goal. But man, writing that in my goals book was one of the best things I ever did, and it gave me the 50,000 subscribers more on YouTube. In the magic world, gave me some more cred, and I have this beautiful trophy that I just proudly display in my magic room.
Well, and Penn and Teller must have been like heroes of yours growing up, I would think.
Yeah. I was more like David Copperfield.
Okay.
Penn and Teller weren't as you'd have to look for them. You'd have to catch a special. They weren't on TV. They were on Letterman.
They were always on sitcoms and stuff, I would find, doing like guest appearances and stuff.
Yeah, they were. You're right. So I did, when I saw them revealing, they're famous for revealing stuff, but in a clever way. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But later on, when I got my education in magic, I was like, wow, these guys are really clever, really original, really good, really funny. So they became, definitely one of my idols. But having them there, being in front of them and just performing for them was definitely a dream. And that night we actually got a private tour of David Copperfield's private museum.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing. It's invite only. You can only get 6 people at a time. It's a 2-3 hour thing. He's standing right there with you, like showing around. It's a whole show. The lights go, counters are floating. It's wild. So it was quite, and that was on March 11th. I flew Penn and Teller on March 11th. I filmed it. And then on the way back, boom, pandemic, everything locks down.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's so close.
So I was really lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a good year. 2020 was good for me, man.
Yeah, I feel the same way. A lot of people are having shit years. And I suppose having the kids out of school and my fiance and I both working at the hospital, there were definitely a lot of, stressors. But all I can think about is all the cool people I've been able to interview this year. And some of that was due to Zoom. I didn't even start doing Zoom until the lockdown happened and I was kind of forced into it. And it ended up opening all these doors for me to interview people that weren't in Ottawa. So I feel a little bit like a dick for having such a good year in that respect when other people are like losing their jobs and stuff. But
I mean, I'm not kidding anybody. I had my worst year ever, like on the books, I usually have like 200 shows. I probably did like, 20
financially speaking, I guess.
Financially speaking, it's just like everything was at a halt, it was the first time, I remember, this is kind of a little cocky, but I remember a couple of years ago driving on tour. We're doing like 70 shows in 1 month, and I was like, my career is going so nothing can ruin this. I can do this for 5 more years and retire. Nothing's gonna. And I was like, even if the schools go on strike, no problem. I'll do corporate. I'll do TV. But now, I couldn't even fathom anything that would be like, no crowds, and I know a lot of people are in that boat too. But for me, I was like in 2008, the recession didn't affect me at all. I felt bad talking to other magicians and talking to other people in the industry, in the entertainment industry. And they're like, yeah, but recession. And I was like, yeah, but it didn't affect me. So that got me, thinking, oh, nothing. And now is like worst year of my life. Like I'm counting on finding change in the couch. Well, thanks for paying me for this. I appreciate it. So that's what I'm doing this. So that's good.
I don't pay my guests, for the record. I don't make money off this show at all. So,
well, it's a lot of fun, man. You're good at it. I kind of researched you.
Oh yeah.
And I know You like the CBD. You like the pot.
Yeah, I mean, I like pot. Yeah,
I made you a brownie. It's a brownie, Oliver.
A brownie, guys.
I'm sorry.
There's people listening. Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, okay. For the people listening, yeah. Sorry, my bad.
You know what? Yeah, mail that to me, man, because I always try to get guests to put something up on the wall in the studio here. So whenever somebody comes,
oh yeah, I'll mail you some stuff for sure. I got tons of stuff for you.
Yeah, poster or whatever you want, man. Anything if you want to autograph it, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going to jump back to your YouTube just because I really enjoyed and felt very satisfied watching the bad parking police because I think you filmed that in Orleans as well. I recognize some spots, but for people who haven't seen it, I'll link up all this shit when I do the editing of this episode, but it's basically Eric going out and finding terrible parking jobs, which there are many to find in Ottawa. And you leave like very clever notes or sort of pranks or whatever you want to call them, and then you film the reactions.
Funny cards to shame them. Yeah, so it came. My mom. I guess it started when I was 7. I found I've never told this story. In my mom's glove box, there was a cartoon picture of Mickey Mouse giving the finger, and it said, "Dear asshole, thanks for parking so close. Next time, leave a can opener so I can get my car out. Assholes like you should take the bus." And it was before computers. So I was like, how did they do this as Mickey Mouse? And I was like, that's so clever. And I'm like, as if my mom would leave that. That's aggressive. And I guess it's always been in the back of my head. And then I got one left on my car years ago. And it said, "Hey, you suck at parking. Seriously, learn to park, asshole. If I see you do this again, I'll key your shit." And I was like, wow, that's so funny. So I made myself business cards, and when people would come over, I'd give it to them. It's a fun thing at parties to give away and for filter, whatever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then one day I've always had, so from that day on, I always had some in my glove compartment, and I would leave it at people and look at this guy leave and go. And then one day I'm like, why am I leaving? What if I stuck around? See the reaction. So I always remember at Staples, my first one, I'm like, but I'm doing errands. I'm like, I guess I'm not doing anything. And he was at Staples. So I'm like, he's not going to be there an hour. So I put it on his, and I leave. And sure enough, 5 minutes later, it comes out, and I developed ways to film people. So I was like this, filming him like this, right? I was like, yeah, boom, boom. And then the reaction was hilarious. He goes back, looks at the thing. I'm like, there's something here. So then started making my own cards. There's some really funny ones out there. And I started, actively going for a couple hours. And man, you would be surprised at how easy it is to find bad parkers. It is insane. There's everywhere.
Everywhere you go.
Lines. Mostly trucks.
Yes.
And mostly one of the sexes is more apt to park like that, but we'll leave it at that. And then I just stuck around, and what I do is, it's so clever. I tape my phone to my rear view mirror, so it's like a tripod. So I'm just there, and I stay. I used to go hide. I used to press record, then go hide, and I'm like, why am I hiding? I'm staying right in my car. Like nobody would do this, would stay there and watch them. Sure enough, so I don't have my phone, so I'm like this while it's filming. And the number one rule, man, is don't look at them, because as soon as you go like this, you're caught. So it's and it's so hard because I'm looking at nothing. It's just like, they'll be gone soon. Just relax. You'll be able to see them. And they go, and you're like, that's great. Compilation. I've had one woman. Did you see the one with the Stevie Wonder? So one of them, I left a medal. It was the Stevie Wonder parking competition. And I would put the medal. I bought a dollar store medal, and I made a sticker for it, and I would leave it on their car door.
That's amazing.
This woman in her husband's landscaping truck parks at Staples way over the line, and I see her. There's nobody beside her, because sometimes you park like that because the car beside you.
Yeah, you have to adapt. Yeah.
No, you don't know. You don't know. But it was a blatant just bomb. She walks in. I put the medal on. She comes out, sees the medal, doesn't see what's written on it. She just takes it, throws it on the ground, gets in her car, and leaves.
Oh,
she did not read it. So I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Such good footage. She's just like, I'm like, she litters. And so I put these on my Instagram. I have all the individual ones, but I put them on YouTube, and I'm a part of a rant group here in Orleans. And I just put it on Rant Orleans on Facebook. And the woman says, she's there. And she's like, now you shouldn't have done this. You've outed yourself. I'm filing a police report and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you littered. And everybody's obviously, it's a rant group. So everybody's taking my side. And like, we go on for like hours of like, you're like, does your husband know you park like that with his truck? And like, we're going on and off. And she's like, police report. But that's one of my, so that's now it's.
What kind of charges is she hoping to lay on you?
She didn't, she parked like an idiot. She littered and she's like, oh, you made damage. Oh, she said you made damage to my truck with the metal, but it was a plastic metal. Anyways, Rant Orleans on Facebook. Anybody from Ottawa, come. We'd love to have you. I'm going to promote this just on that group just for her to see this.
That's amazing. So like, did you ever get caught when you were doing the filming? Someone caught on to you?
No,
Nice.
No, I think, no, I've just been in my, and do you know Cart Narcs?
No.
Cart Narcs is kind of the same thing. He's huge on Facebook. Basically, he goes to people in parking lots that don't return their carts to the cart corral. And he goes up to them and says, excuse me, Cart Narcs here. You need to return that. And they're like, what? And he gets and it's so good. He has hundreds of videos. It's really good. Cart Narcs.
Yeah.
But he confronts them. So I don't really confront him. I kind of go hide. And my YouTube videos like confronting people, bad parkers or whatever. And like, you're not confronting. So now I've started going up to people when they park and be like giving them the card and be like, is that your best try there? Is that your, but no, I've never actually gotten caught.
You gotta be careful with that shit because the wrong person might punch you in the face,
Content, baby.
That's the right answer.
I'm willing to get hurt for my art.
It's what you said about trucks, though, is so true. Anytime I'm on the road, the worst drivers are usually in trucks, and I assume parkers as well. But also tinted windows, I've noticed, is like the mark of a fucking asshole driver. Because they don't want you to be able to make eye contact with them and say, fuck you.
You're a different person in your car, man. Yeah, imagine you're in your car driving and someone like cuts in front of you. And you're like, but imagine like if you do that in real life. Imagine like you're waiting in line at the bank or you're somewhere and like someone just walks in front of you, you rage on them like that. When we're in our cars or behind our phone, I always say when we're behind glass, we always feel like we're safer than we really are.
It's so true.
Like we always feel like people
just go into town picking their nose. And
yeah. Now it's true. Trucks. And to be fair, I've read a lot of comments on my Instagram and on my YouTube video, people saying, what's so wrong with they park away from everybody? There's a great one. It was a Bell truck. It was a Bell Canada truck.
I saw that one. Yeah.
Did you see the one with the shaving cream?
Yeah.
So he parked on two spots. That one I was scared. I made a sad face with shaving cream on his windshield and I left him a "You can't park" note. I think it was a Google how to park because you suck at it. And this one I was too close. The van, I was like, that's way too close. I'm not staying here. So I went to go get a sub. And man, he came out and he was fuming. It's just shaving cream. It's just but the shot of his wipers just cleaning.
And he was like yelling, like, well, where are you then? Or something.
Oh, where are you? Yeah, you're right. Well, where are you? And I watched that clip. That was probably the most scary I've ever been, but I was like so far away.
That was, I want to say in Beacon Hill near the Pizza Hut too, right?
Yeah, it's right where it's at the Montreal Street, Montreal exit.
Right on.
Yeah, exactly where the Pizza Hut is. Exactly. Yeah, good call.
Well, I'll definitely, I'll link that up so people can check it out because I think they're hilarious. Getting back to magic, though, I wanted to, because you talked about almost screwing up the trick on Penn and Teller or there being a risk factor there. So one of my questions was, what is your biggest magic fail to date? Like embarrassing, just you didn't pull it off, everybody saw, or are you just so good that that's never happened?
I think once I was like, I felt so, wait. Sorry about that. For the people watching, I just burped up cars, people on listening. It's a question I get asked the most, not the most, a lot. And I don't have a good answer because what makes a good magician and a good magician, average magician, and an expert magician is to be able to roll. See, magic is one of the only arts where you don't know what's coming.
Yeah, it's like an improv.
It's exactly. So if the person's like, if something you drop the cards, let's say, you can always make a joke and then be like, do another trick with the 4 cards they have left there. And so I meant to do that. If it's cleverly crafted, but I've had I had kids pee themselves on stage. I've had.
That's not really your fault.
I know. Yeah, my fault. I mean,
that's embarrassing though. Yeah.
Oh, again, not my fault, but I was at a magic gala. This is a shit story. I was at a magic gala, magician on stage. He throws a lemon in the audience, and at the end, they're like, can I have the lemon? And the person throws it, and it rolls under the curtain and the back. So I'm like, so I grab it, and I like throw it back on stage, you know? And it was a gag. It was a joke, prearranged joke. The trick was supposed to switch some sort of lemons, and I messed it up. That was for him. But compared to like, I've never, honestly, like, sure, I've had like little tricks don't work at birthday parties, but never anything big in a corporate setting in front of a big crowd. One thing we did once was just, it doesn't answer your question at all, but it was a really good prank. Wes was from Vancouver. He only speaks English, and I was performing in Quebec, sold out show, 2,000 people in Quebec in a theater. And Wes says, I'll just come see it. He doesn't understand anything. So he's sitting in the audience. And then I say to the people in French, I say, my friend is here, doesn't speak a word of French. Next time I say his name is, and I spell it in French, I want you guys to go boo. But I don't say boo. It's a different word in French. So I say, next time I say it. So Wes is just watching the show, no clue what's going on. And I was like, j'ai mon ami, my friend is here, Wes Barker. And everybody's like, boo, boo. Just like completely booed. I don't know why that popped in my head.
That's awesome.
But I don't have any fail stories for you, man.
Hey, no worries. That just means you're good at your craft, you know?
I was puking on stage once. I puked in a bucket off stage, and like the show had to keep moving. But yeah, no disaster stories. Sorry.
No, not even. That's, like I said, it means you're good at what you do and you roll with the punches, you know? And puking off stage too. That's pretty hardcore to keep going.
It's like when you're a performer, you have like 400 people waiting for you. You know, like I never got. I saw on Facebook groups sometimes people are like, "Can somebody take a show tomorrow night? I'm sick," and I'm like, "Dude, suck it. How much are you getting paid for that? You're gonna pay thousands or hundreds. Like, suck it up, dude."
Oh,
like,
man.
Like I'm sick. Now again with this whole COVID thing, COVID's gonna change everything about how magic is. You know, like so many tricks are like, here, hold this, or like something comes out of my mouth, or this, or like hold, you know, like kiss me here, and like crazy stuff. Now it's like our brains are completely like, you know, now the magician who says, "Oh, I'm sick, I shouldn't go," we're like, okay, cool, stay home, no problem. But pre-COVID, I could never understand why people would cancel.
Well, I guess it depends how sick you are, though. I mean, there's a limit if you're like diarrhea and shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of the show must go on, though, I had a comedian. Yeah. I had a comedian on back in September named Darren Frost, and he's known for being really, really edgy. Like he has to put warnings, no refunds before his shows because it's really really like hardcore offensive shit for the most part. And there's a video on YouTube. You should check it out. It's pretty hardcore to watch because he was at a show and he had some guy heckling him repeatedly throughout the show. This is how he described it to me. And he ended up sort of addressing him and making some joke about fucking the guy's mom. And so about 5 seconds go on past that. And then they huck like a glass whiskey tumbler at him and hits him right in the chest. And you just hear him like, ooh. And then he still did 8 minutes after that, he told me. He kept going, you know, and they're like, his mom's dead, you asshole, or something like that. But man, it's a fucked up video.
You know what I've seen? If I tell you the name Alex Wood, Ottawa comic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's pretty big now. Yeah.
I was there. I see this with my own eyes. He was a little bit more huskier, I think, back in the day.
Yeah, he quit a bunch of drugs and everything. I think he was a pretty hardcore user, and now he's cleaned up in every way, from what I heard.
So he walks on stage with his pint glass, and he's opening line. So I've been working out. Gets a little laugh. Then he goes, ooh. Gets another laugh because like, I've been working out. That gets a laugh. He's a little huskier.
Yeah.
And, then, and people laugh. And then he goes, bah! He pukes. He filled his pint glass and then some, and then kept going with his full set. Low ceiling at Yuck Yucks. Like smell. He just finished it. They puke jokes. Everything was like, we were like, my girlfriend's like, is that part of the show? I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. And then the waitresses were coming, cleaning the stool. And
it's nasty.
It was crazy.
But he still did a good set or no?
What's that?
He still did a good set?
Still did a good set, man.
Wow, that's even more impressive.
I added him to Facebook that night. It was like 7 years ago. And I'm like, from that day on, I know here and there I check with him. I check back with him every few years to be like, remember that time? He's like, yep. That's all our relationship is me asking him if he still remembers that time he puked on stage in front of
He's a really funny guy, and he's doing very well for himself. I know he had a podcast. I don't know if he's still doing it, but it was called Alex Wood Quits Everything. And I believe that was at a time where he realized he needed to make a lot of changes. He was drinking too much and I think doing coke and other shit. So hopefully he's still on that path. He looks a lot healthier. So I think he's still, living the good life.
Well, good for you, Alex.
Yeah. If he's listening, I don't know. I'd love to have him on actually too. Yeah.
I'm going to make sure my next time I'm going to talk to him. I'll be like, yo, check out Oliver George podcast. I talk about you puking.
Nice. I wanted to ask you actually, speaking of puking, we're getting a lot of nice segues into my questions here.
Yeah, baby.
I wanted to ask about drunken and impaired magic because again, coming back to our mutual friend, Scott, I would go out with him, hit up the bars, and I was always astounded at the fact that he could still do this shit because, I do comedy intermittently and I'm a musician as well to some degree. And I find there's definitely like a few beers and then I can't play the chords right anymore and shit like that. So something with magic seems even more like you need your balance and your wits about you,
Yeah, I've been told, I remember I handle substances really well. And I remember when I was in high school, we did mushrooms and we were in a bush party and the cops came on a hill up top and I went up and I did a set for them. And I'll always remember this quote. They were in the middle of the woods. You had to walk like 10 minutes. And the cop said, dispatch was like, just checking in. And the cop's like, yeah, we'll be right there. We're just watching a magic trick. And I always remember that. We're like, what he said? And like, well, you guys look like good kids, go on. But I've always been told that no matter, so much of like us, it's this. So let it be drugs or let it be whatever. You're like, okay, I got to do something here. It's not just saying stuff. And again, hiding behind the magic, it takes 2 seconds, If you're drunk or on drugs and you do something like this, you go, whoop, like that, right? That's done. If you drop it on the ground, let me start over. Shoulder back, front, right? You can, one of those people like, whoa, and it's done. You've done magic. So it's not super intricate. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like,
those are easy peasy for you at this point.
Those are easy peasy. So we have a thing on Big Trick Energy called Drunk Magic.
Nice.
Actually, this is one of the stories I wanted to say. Yes.
Awesome.
So we went to film the pilot in September. And with COVID, really weird, a lot of restrictions, everybody gets tested, so weird. So one of the segments was called Drunk Magic. And the producers, because we drink all the time, we're friends, we're at a bar, we're going to be living together for 3 months, it's going to be insane. So Drunk Magic was letting us loose in a bar that we created, a socially distanced bar, and just go ahead and like, we're just going to catch whatever, we're just going to film whatever you guys do. It was chaos. We really took it to heart. We were getting it sloshed, laughing at each other. And one of the tricks, this is so good. One of the tricks, Drunk Magic was he'd go up to a table and he'd say, hey, you guys want to see a card trick? And then somebody picks a card and then he put it back in the deck. No, somebody picks a card. He tears it up, eats it, chugs a beer, chugs another beer, and he's like, and he's supposed to pee his pants, and in his pants, the urine is supposed to go 7 of diamonds.
Oh my God.
Right? A 7 and a diamond urinating printed on his pants. So how this works is we had a prop guy with water, with a squirt gun hooked up to Wes's pants, meaning he had to be close to this bush. So we built a bush wall, a wall full of like shrubbery, and the guy was inside ready with his like syringe. So Wes couldn't leave. He was like bound to this bush a little bit. So he goes, he chugs his beers, and then there's 2 rules in show business: is you never work with kids, never work with animals, because it's crazy, you can't control them.
Unpredictable, yeah.
Never sure. What's that?
They're just unpredictable, yeah.
Unpredictable. And a third one I'm going to add for magic is liquid. You can't control liquid. You can't duplicate a spill. Liquid is created anyways. So it doesn't work. So Wes is there and the people have no idea what's going on. The whole bar's watching him and he goes, chugs 2 beers and he's like, okay. And then it goes like this. And then the water the pee just starts on his leg, but there's no 7 dives, just peeing his pants. And people are like, is that the trick? They're laughing. We're laughing at him. So they're feeding us off us laughing. So everybody's laughing at him. And then he's like, it's not working. And then normally if a trick doesn't work, you just say something funny and walk away, reset and come back. But he can't leave because he's tied to this bush because of the hose. So he's like, sometimes tricks don't work. And people are like, but he's not leaving. So they're waiting on a punch. So everybody at the bar is looking at him and he's just standing there hopeless. He can't go. He does it again. The prop guy's freaking out. He's like, okay, we got this. Tries it again. Does it in front of the whole bar, just doesn't work. So the people at that bar had no idea what was supposed to happen. They just saw a grown man piss his pants two times in a row and everybody applying for it. So I guess I could be a magician too. I guess I could do that. Why am I not on TV? Yeah, that's a drunk magic story right there. Exclusive.
How is that even supposed to work with the pants? I guess you have to have like the pattern and then some sort of water resistant whatever over the rest of the pants?
We tried a lot of things. It's still a shot we don't have to this day, but we think we're going to air it that way.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I need to see that.
One of our arcs is at the beginning. There's this like you said, this big directed, like Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction kind of thing, and at the end we reveal how we did it. On the pilot, it was we're all in porta potties. We all each walk in a porta potty. A car crashes on the 3 of the porta potties. We come out of the 4th one, and then at the end you see reveal like it's an aerial shot of us just like doing this juggling in the other porta potties. So I think and a big trick is revealing the stuff. We don't care. We're like, I used to care, but like we said earlier, if you got to adapt, people revealing stuff now is if it's our tricks, it's fair game, So we're going to reveal it, and we think we're just going to air it just like that. Wes just peeing his pants. Here's what was supposed to happen. Anyways, they tried a lot of methods. Either that never wet, the thing that doesn't get wet, or maybe it's like a screen inside. It didn't work. So I don't know if we're going to try it again or just scrap it. But
that's very weird though, because pre-YouTube, it really was a different game when it comes to magic and like explaining the tricks. I remember there was that guy on Fox who wore the mask who revealed the tricks, and it was like a big deal at the time. Yeah. And I remember Scott telling me as well that there was like a sort of a code amongst the magicians that you don't do that shit. But now that's kind of just been thrown out the window.
Everybody's going to do whatever for views and money and fame, man. Like, it's crazy. The Masked Magician was more of like magicians made a big fuss. Like if you wanted to, like you had to see it on TV. And then when it goes on your channel, you're like, I don't care about this. Or you're like, oh, very few percentage of people saw everything, learned everything, and then like went to heckle there's no point. Magicians made a bigger fuss out of that than anybody. So it didn't ruin it. In the magic world, we say it made the magic world evolve because those same tired tricks that were revealed.
Yeah, there's always new tricks coming out, right?
You always got to be turning tricks,
Do you find yourself like whenever you see someone else doing magic, are you just right away trying to pick it apart and figuring out how they did it?
No, I'm the perfect spectator. And magic conventions and stuff, when somebody's performing, if they want me to look up, I'm looking up. If they want, no, I'll always be like, no, come on. If that card isn't, I want to give them confidence. I want to give them, you fooled me. But when it's really good, then we like, okay, well,
if you're really scratching your head
afterwards, we're like, wait, was that? No, because he said any card. No. Oh, he said this. So sometimes it's like what the person says or something we didn't see, or like a dual reality kind of thing going on that you don't know what actually is going on until you kind of like reconstruct it. But we just buy it. If I see something I really like that fooled me, I'll just, how much is that? $50, I'll buy it. I'll probably hate it. But yeah, it's not a big, like I said, with the Penn Teller fool us thing, the whole term fooling and the whole term, I was always hated it. So I'm the perfect spec. I don't try and deconstruct. On Fool Us and on TV when I'm with my friends, sure. But live, nah.
Just have fun with it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not fun.
Yeah. Magic's supposed to be fun. That's like rule number 1.
That's right.
Do you have a preference over street versus stage magic?
So street magic is a term that came out 20 years ago with David Blaine. Yeah. And it just meant that he was performing in the street, right? So
but I mean, as opposed to like the Vegas-y, like
close up.
You're separated from the audience, Close
up magic against stage magic. So close up magic, you can leave a bigger impact because it's custom tailored to the person in front of you, and you're riffing and hold this and think of this, your mom's maiden name, blah, blah, blah. Well, stage magic, you get the thrill of like, whoa, the laughter and everybody clapping and your green room and everything and the circuit, you know, like it's more glamorous. But I don't know. I prefer one-on-one, but I still prefer, I always prefer being able to manage a crowd. Like I've gotten really good at crowd work and knowing that I can get within 5 minutes, I got them wrapped around my finger. They're going to laugh. They're going to be silent. Nobody's going to heckle. I'm fun. I'm silly. Right. But I like close-up magic is what I grew up on and what I perform like every day. You always have something, you can always grab something and do magic with, where a stage is more like, okay, what's the script? What am I going to say? Is this fun? You got to go out there and practice it. So my love is for both, man.
That's what it'd be.
Yeah. I don't have a definitive answer.
Well, doing stuff live must be just better in general, whichever way you're doing it, because I was just thinking about that with your new show coming out. Like I've watched Magic for Humans and stuff like that. And as a viewer in your house, watching it through a screen, you're always like much more conscious of edits and wondering like, oh, well, this must just be some fucking TV magic that they're doing, you know, where they're behind the scenes kind of manipulating things.
We're very lucky. We got the two best magic consultants in the business for this show. Danny Garcia and Blake Voigt are consultants for Chris Angel and Blaine and all these Cyril, all these big magicians, and they are very ethical, meaning sometimes it's okay to cut because they know the way the viewer does. You haven't established this with the viewer yet. Oh, not right. They can't. No, it's okay to cut when it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When it's one person or one trick and it's only be one take. David Copperfield was always famous in saying the camera's never going to cut away. But there's a big like right now the magic producers and the DPs of the show, the camera guys are working very closely to be able to train them on how magic is filmed. But the number one thing that I know we're going to be able to say on our show is that everything is real. Nothing's been set up. We will never fake a reaction. If we get somebody on the show who's like either missed the magic, doesn't speak English, is an idiot, we'll never be like afterwards, okay, can you like go like, whoa, that was amazing? Never. We'll use editing to make him look silly or funny, or just going to use one of his like weird smirks instead of, you know, a vocal clip of you being like, oh, how'd you do that? It always looks fake. Audiences can smell it from a mile away. And for us, like for the pilot, they crushed my BMW. I didn't know. I had no idea.
Oh,
and yeah, they took it and Alex was just standing like this and they just, the car
Magneto style.
And I had no idea. And people, my friends, I just sent this clip to my good friends. They were like, did you know? And I was like, I didn't know. Like, how'd they get your car to Vancouver? I'm like, I did not know. That was for real.
That's
like
amazing.
Stuff. Yeah, it was big stuff. And like all the pranks that I have planned for, you know, Alex and Wes and Chris, they have no idea. So it's like this waltz of like Zoom calls of like, okay, he can't be on this call. He has to be on this call. Everything is real. No actors, no stooges, no fake reactions. Big Trick Energy is going to be amazing. I'm so pumped.
Did you get like a replacement car? I would assume the studio provided like a.
They paid. Yeah, they paid for it. So it was good. I was going to sell it anyways. So now
I really want to see that now.
I didn't have to go through the trouble of posting pictures.
Oh man, I'm going to be like just waiting and dying to see the show.
Oh man, I can't wait for you to see it. Like I know I've done a lot of interviews in my day and I've never promoted something 3 times in the same show. Big Trick Energy, baby. Woo!
Yeah. Can you send any clips yet or no?
You know what? As I was talking about it, I was like, probably shouldn't be talking about it.
Oh, fair.
As I was saying the car and the drunk magic, I was like, well, probably shouldn't be. So a little exclusive for the Oliver George crowd out there.
I think the Zoom might have just adjusted your volume because you screamed, because now you're really quiet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
How do I fix that?
I don't know. Turn up your mic, I guess. It's not that bad. I can level it out and post if I have to. I only have a couple more magic questions.
All right.
One was, do you ever get annoyed? Because again, this is something that I noticed with Scott. Do you ever get annoyed when people when you're in just sort of a gathering where you're not really hoping to do magic, and then your friends or people who sort of know that you do magic, hey man, do a trick, because it's got to get irritating at some point.
That's funny. You got good questions, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, my friends know that it's not a burden. I love doing it. But the thing with at a party like that is that I always say, yeah, I'll show you something a little later. I'd love to, because as soon as I do it, it's going to be me for the whole party, right? Not necessarily perform, but it's like, oh, it's a magician just here. More people are going to come. Can you show them? So the later you wait, the more you can kind of get away with doing one or two things and be like, okay, I'll do one more for you guys, and I'm going outside for small, blah, blah, right? I it's still my passion. If there's something, when I walk in a room, I scan for sure. If it's a party or a gathering, I'm like, okay, there's pens there, there's this there, can do this, it can do that. I'm always scanning because I know it's going to come up. My friend Gilles, who is one of my best friends, he came up with the perfect. It depends when it's like, hey, my cousin's from out of town. I talked to him a lot about you. Can you show him something?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sit down. I'll do an hour. I don't care. But it's being like sitting on a couch at a party and everybody's like, oh, this. And then when you're done, what? I stand there and have a beer and I have the same 5 questions with everybody. It's like, oh, how did you? It's
well,
not.
Especially if it's like somebody's birthday party, you don't want to steal their thunder. And there's always going to be some insecure guy who's like, oh, this guy, look, he loves to be the center of attention, even though you didn't bring it up. You know,
it's so funny. My girlfriend and I went to one of her friends' engagement dinners or whatever, and it was in an ice cream shop in Brooklyn. And obviously, we're standing there, and it comes up. Somebody's like, my girlfriend said, "Can you show me the trick?" So I'm like, "Okay. What do you guys have? Do you guys have a bill?" They give me a 5. And I turn into 100. And then our little group, people are like, oh, oh, oh. And then my girlfriend's like, okay, put it away. And I'm like, I need to change this 100 back to the 5 and give it to the person, right? But she was like, I don't want to take the attention. I didn't know people were going to react like that. You're sucking the party from the room, from all the room to your spot. So she's like, put it away. And then I changed it back. I'm like, don't ever ask me to do a magic trick again if I can't finish it, because
even when it's somebody else that instigates it,
they don't know.
You'll always be the one that they think is like trying to be the center of attention after you do this fantastical thing.
And that's, you know what? That's a great point. I actively think that my whole life I've thought that, but that's the main point. That I don't want people to think I'm never going to be like, hey, you want to see something? Right?
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm having a smoke or whatever, and it was just 2 outside and I'll do something, whoa, done, we'll walk in, over. But you don't want people to think, oh, there he goes again with his magic and his, my friend Jill came up with the best scenario. He just loves watching people react to it. He's seen so much. He's seen all the tricks. He just loves watching people react to it. He's come up with the best hack that I have no choice to do it now. He grabs somebody privately from the group, and he says, that guy there is like, he's Canada's best magician. He's like, he's like, go give him this pen and say, can you show me something with this? So now I have a stranger coming up to me, and he's like, say quietly. So now I have a stranger coming up to me, handing me a prop, say, can you show me something with this? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And then I give it back to them. They go back to Shill to talk about it. I keep going my thing. So even if somebody's like, can you show me something? Oh yeah, I'll show you something later. And I'm planning, later. But when somebody comes up to you in private and say, can you show me something with this? And I look at Shill and I'm like, you must do it. But that's the best possible scenario for me. But don't get me wrong, like a lot, like I'd say like 85% of magicians would love to do what I hate doing at parties. Would love it. They would suck the whole party out of the room and they'll overperform. They'll go for like 25, 30 minutes, an hour, because people are always like, okay, can you see another one? Because those magicians are hiding behind the magic, right? Those people that aren't that aren't like, like at parties, like they'd rather whip out their deck of cards and show you something and you'd be like, whoa, and like them for that instead of liking them for being a normal person.
Having a real conversation.
You know?
That's interesting. I wanted to also ask you if there's any trick that you've always wanted to do that has eluded you for whatever reason, you haven't been able to manage to figure out the right way to do it. And also, what's the weirdest place you've ever performed?
That's a question we had on Big Trick Energy. The producer were asking us, is there a trick you've always wanted to do that you've never? And I was like, maybe there's one. Maybe there's one where you take a piece of sewing thread and you swallow it, and then it comes out your eye, but really comes out your eye. Like you're just dragging it coming out your eye. I've never done that one. I have a thing with eyes.
I think David Blaine did something like that, didn't he?
I think he did it with the.
Oh yeah. No, he had one with a diamond coming out of his eye or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do that one though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But as far as the weirdest place performing magic, I mean, dude. Okay. I got it. So in the same year, I think it was 2005 or 6, I've performed at a funeral, at a dog's birthday party.
Funeral? We got to stop there for a second. That's got to be the most. And what was the last one?
Prison, jail.
Oh my God, that's just as weird. Prison, I can kind of understand because that's entertainment. Like when Johnny Cash sang for the prisoners,
right.
It's the same.
That's right.
But, fucking funeral. That's like.
Well, it was a celebration of life.
Oh God.
And the lady had hired me. She was a CEO at Giant Tiger, and she had hired me for the Christmas party for like 10, 15 years in a row. Loved magic, loved me. And her husband said, Nancy really loved you and she would love nothing more. It was written in her, you love nothing more than you perform at it. She doesn't want people sad. She wants people happy. So I walked around this huge tent. Is outside, it was raining, and I just entertained people, and people were like, and I remember at one point, I like to cross the line. I like to even in my kids shows, it's like a Disney movie. I like to not cross the line, but just be on it, and I remember at that funeral, so bad, at that funeral, I purposely did a bad joke. It was a group of 5 or 6 people, and I was like, I don't remember what the joke was, but I'm like, what, somebody dying here or what? Right?
Oh. I was going to say you could go overboard and have like a recording of like a banging and like I'm still in here or something like that.
You know what I want to do? It's in my will. This is in my will. I want to build a fake arm. Okay, that's like this that goes in the coffin. So, and then on a remote control. So when my best friend in magic, who's going to read my eulogy, I'm going to leave this in my will. This is what I want you to do. It's going to be like, Eric wouldn't want us to be sad. He's probably up there partying right now with a bunch of hookers or whatever. And then he presses the button, and then I go like this out of the coffin.
I'll scare the shit out of people.
I'm looking at having that built. But yeah, man. So dog's birthday party was weird too, man.
Yeah.
I was in a dog pet supply store. Straight up had 10 dogs there sitting in front of me with their owners in the back, and I'm doing tricks with Cha-Cha. She's like, can you use her in tricks? Can you make her appear? I'm like, yeah. Like she gave me this substance that it's like peanut butter that the dog would love to lick. So I put it on my props. So the dog would lick the props, and I'd pretend like I did this whole thing. But that's definitely some of the weirdest places. Also in raves, I did a lot of raves when I was young, and there's music so loud and it's so dark, you're very limited on what you can do, right?
Yeah. Two of the senses are kind of.
But yeah, perform magic
But on the flip side, at least at a lot of raves, people are super fucked out of their brain, so it must be a little easier.
You could be like, and they're gonna be like. I perform magic at the Taj Mahal, which is highly illegal.
Whoa!
Before you walk in the Taj Mahal, I had my camera bag. You can't have electronics. You can't have anything colorful. They took my decks of cards because it's games.
Just like a respect thing?
It's a respect thing. And I went and disrespected. I had
here you are gloating about how you broke the rules.
That's right. I was doing, the mouth coil, which is when magicians take paper out of their mouths.
Yeah.
I brought one of those. I snuck one of those in, and for my last shot, my video of the Magic of India, day 365, I'm in front of the Taj Mahal, and my guide, you can hear him. He's like, Eric, you can't it doesn't mean anything to us, but for them, it's
sacrilege.
But it was very subjective. I feel like I was profiled. A lot of people could bring in their stuff, and the white guy had to get his deck of cards taken away and stuff.
Damn, racism is everywhere.
That's right, buddy.
Shit. Okay. Well, I guess that's it for the magic stuff. I do have a question that I've been asking everybody at the end of this season, which is if you could travel back in time for a day and have dinner with someone that you've never met before, who would it be and why and when, I suppose?
I guess Harry Houdini.
Seems like a go-to magician answer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a go-to magician answer. But you know what? Somebody's asked me, I think Wes asked me this on one of his YouTube videos recently. And I am so like, they were getting like giving names like Margaret Thatcher, Martin Luther King, and like, you know, and I was like, I just don't know. So I'm listening. I'd go probably, Christopher Columbus.
He sounds like he was kind of an asshole.
I'd show magic. I'd break him right up.
Yeah, and all his slaves too.
What about you?
I don't know, man. I recognize that it's a difficult question when I ask it to people. Originally, at the beginning of the season, we were asking like, what time period would you go to? And it was just too broad. So I had to switch to like the dinner with somebody just to reel it in a little bit. I don't know, man. I'd probably end up picking a musician that I really like, but knowing all my favorite musicians, they'd probably just be way too high to have a real conversation. I don't know, man. Like there's so many cool people throughout history, but if you go too far back, you're just going to have like a real conversation barrier, I would think. Like if I go to speak to
that's interesting. Right.
You know, you talk to someone from Jesus's time or something. They'll probably be speaking a different language.
I would be Jesus. I'm going to change my answer to Jesus.
I just talked about that on the last.
Who would that be? You know?
Yeah. That's what I mean. You could actually ask him like, what really went down? That's why I said the last guy when that came up.
I would choose my mom. She's not dead. She just lives upstairs.
Well, it's got to be someone you've never met before. Yeah.
All right. I've never met before. That's right. Yeah. That's good, man. Good times.
Shit. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on again. And I'll let you know when it goes up. And definitely tell me when your show is up.
Yeah, I definitely know. And I want to tell you that I do a lot of these interviews and you had really good questions, Oliver.
Thank you, dude.
A lot of shit I've never been asked before. You caught me off guard a couple times.
Well, yeah, I think we got some good content here. So I'm happy to be uploading
I'll let you know when BT's up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all the best, man. And take her easy. Stay safe.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
I'll tell Scott to call you.
Sorry?
I'll tell Scott to call you.
Yeah. Please do. That would be, I'd love to interview him. Anyways.
Thanks, man. All right.
Peace out, dude.
See ya.